iZombie Season 3, Episode 7, Dirt Nap Time. Definitely an entertaining episode with a pretty crazy end that I'm very excited for, with just the crazy change that they're going to have now that the people who believe that there were zombies have proof that there are zombies. So I'm really looking forward to how that's supposed to play out. But this entire episode I thought was pretty good. We have Super Sad Blaine, which leads into Mad Blaine when Don E shows up, which leads to potentially Dead Blaine when his dad's bodyguard ends up shooting him in the stomach. So we'll see how that plays out. I assume he's going to survive because, of course, the guy didn't just shoot him in the face, but that's the last we see of him in the episode. So I'm sure he's fine. Like, he's like, I got a bunch of money and stuff, so I'm sure he'll just pay the guy off to actually heal him, or at least either take him to a hospital or just flat out make him a zombie again, because he has the setup to make a cure, which it seems like he may or may not have actually finished, because I didn't think about this when we saw him making it before. It was already blue, so I think he's made the solution. He just might have to kind of supercharge it, like we see Robbie do in this episode. So he was getting he had that giant box of formaldehyde and stuff, and I'm like, all right, he's making multiple batches of this cure, and I assume his point is to sell the cure to a bunch of people. So we'll see what happens there and how he tries to turn his dad's muscle into his own muscle. Donnie is kind of doing his thing running the club, so of course the main characters end up officially finding out where it is because Major ends up going with his buddies. He ends up getting saved at the last minute, because I was thinking, this is one of those situations that's really funny because it's not like a situation in a normal TV show where it's like, oh man, if I don't do this, they'll kill me or something. It's like, he can do this. It's not something that's super insane, like I have to, stab myself or something crazy that'll actually kill me. It'll really, really suck, but technically he could have eaten that pepper, and it would have really effed him up. And it probably would have been a little too obvious because, he wouldn't have been able to stop crying because it's super intense, especially if you're not that big on spicy stuff. But it was just really funny to me because I'm like, he could technically do it. It would just be painful. But, and this is something that they kind of introduced. I always wondered this, but zombies apparently can tell when something's really spicy, because the other zombies were going woo, it's really, really intense, even though they're zombies. So I was like, okay, well, all he has to do is fake that it's super hot, and it will definitely be super hot to him. So it was one of those funny moments where it was like, technically he could do this and still survive. It was just really, really sucked. But fortunately, Donnie comes in. It's like, oh, they're cool. We go way back. So they're able to get in, and things kind of work out. And that's how they find out about the club. They still have to figure out where the brains are coming from. They don't know who's working with Donnie, because of course he doesn't seem like management material. So they still got some questions. Donnie says that he's not the one that stole it. So we'll see what happens there. And it's definitely possible that he could have mentioned it to Blaine's dad, but I feel like he would have brought that up. I don't know, maybe not, because that is his business partner. So it's like, even if he didn't do it, it's like, well, I'm not going to screw over my business partner because I like making money. And I'm sure Blaine's dad would probably have him killed if he ratted him out too. So, there's totally potential there. He could have totally lied. It still could have been Donnie himself, in all honesty. So we'll have to see. I'm still thinking it's probably Donnie, even though he said it wasn't him in this episode. I still think it was him. He could have his little hustle on the side if he wants to, and no one would really know about it. So I personally still think it's him. I don't know why it would be Blaine, especially with what we got to see with him making the cure himself. There would be no reason for him to steal, to actually steal the vials if he's doing it all himself anyway. So I don't think it's him, and I still think it's Donnie, or, at least Blaine's dad, who I really can't think of his name right now. But, that was definitely a good moment. It's like, all right, well, we still technically don't know who did it, although my guess is Donnie at this point. But they introduced some other crazy stuff where we have Peyton's storyline in this, where they kind of reference back to one of the former cases, or one of the former episodes even, where the guy admitted to the murder of the dominatrix. And it turns out that this isn't exactly what happened, and he's not the killer, and there's something really, really bad on that memory card that I'm assuming has to do with zombies. So they can't use the evidence because someone on there throughout however many hours are on that memory card, someone on there reveals that they're a zombie, and probably is the one that actually killed the dominatrix. They probably just ate her and flipped out and killed her. So a random lawyer dude comes in. He pushes the smaller lawyer out of the way, and is like, all right, he whispers in the guy's ear. It's like, yeah, well, that memory card doesn't exist. We're cool with 30 years. And then poof, suddenly this guy ends up hanging himself. And it's like, all right, Peyton's now involved in some sort of weird thing with this random case, so we don't know who that's really involved with, if there's another faction out there, if that's going to end up, being involved with Filmore-Graves, because we don't know who this random lawyer is, but he could have been hired by Filmore-Graves, like, hey, as crappy as it is to have, an innocent person in jail, if people truly know that there are zombies, which sadly they didn't stop it, if that was their intention, they didn't stop it considering the end of this episode, but maybe that's what it was. They hired this guy and it's like, hey, make sure he says that, he doesn't have this memory card, he will go to jail for as long as he needs to, and then poof, he's dead. And now Liv is going to have the opportunity, even though they focus in the promo that she eats another brain, I would have to imagine that if they don't do it in the next episode, then maybe the one after next, she'll officially eat the brain to try to get some of the answers. Plus, Robbie had him supercharged, so she'll definitely be getting a ton of answers when she decides to eat that brain, or if someone else comes along and does it. But very excited for where that's headed, because it adds a new mystery to it, where it's like, all right, well, who's hiding secrets? I just have to assume it's Filmore-Graves, because no one else is really big enough, unless it's going to end up being Blaine's dad that hired the lawyer. Those are like the only two things in this entire series where I think this person or this company has enough money to kind of make this work. So it's one of them, but I feel like the whole secret is definitely to hide the whole zombie issue, which, once again, getting to the end of this episode where Major and his buddy, who I'm really going to have to remember his name because he's clearly going to be an important character, but they end up spiking the front tires of the guy we saw at the shooting range, and sadly they had that little GoPro right on the front of that truck, and his buddy, after getting hit by the car, he gets up, pops his arm back into place, goes full zombie mode, catches up to the car, which was admittedly a really cool scene because he was just sprinting and you could see he was catching up. So I like the way that they actually made that look. So he hops right on the hood, they just have all the footage they need, and now we're going into full-on zombie war. I mean, I figured it was going to happen, but now it's like they got 100% proof, it's not speculation. They have a guy getting hit by a car, popping his arm out. They have his face too, which was even worse, because I'm like, alright, they have the guy in general, so he's got, there's identification about this guy out there. So it's more than just that they have proof, they actually have this actual guy's face before he even goes, crazy zombie mode. So things are definitely about to get really crazy, but I thought they did a great job in this episode leading into some really big elements like this mystery with Peyton, the guys finding out the truth about zombies, whatever in the world is about to happen with Blaine. We still have the mystery of, exactly who stole the cure, although I feel like unless they introduce someone brand new out of nowhere, I just don't know. And that could even be Filmore-Graves. Now that I think about it, maybe they sent somebody in, so that would certainly be something as well. But definitely a fun episode. The main case that they had to solve was definitely funny as well, especially with Liv on like the preschooler brain, or the preschool teacher brain. Definitely hilarious. So I really loved that, and the way she was just talking to everybody was definitely great. So really funny, but they certainly did a lot of cool stuff leading into like the next couple episodes, probably the rest of the season. Like a lot of this stuff seems like conspiracy level type stuff. It's like nothing seemed really immediate. Everything is like, well, that's interesting, and so is that, and it's all just going to end up being like, kind of way down the line for this season. But it was all really good to me. But of course, I would love to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and I definitely want to know now that these guys have this video, how quickly are things going to start to fall apart, because it was already bad before. Like that's how we started the season. It was people killing off, people that they knew were zombies, like their neighbors and stuff like that. And now it's just all out there. So I would love to know what your theories are at this point, like how fast things are about to start falling apart. If you have any other theories as well as far as who stole the cure, we'd love to know that as well. But definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.